Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more. What are we playing? Radiant Tale. I'm like, crap, where'd my brain go? I was running around doing a bunch of stuff as I was waiting for my capture card to realize it was attached and pick up the stuff. Anyway, yes, continuing not exactly Rady's route, but going to Rady's route. So, essentially. Anyway, we were hanging out with Brady, and the last time he basically told us how nobody was good enough for us. And thank God we brought up Ginnia. Listen, if I can't have a route with Ginnia, the least you can do is tease me more. Rude. But I love it. Because, I'd be mad. I'm mad there's no Ginnia route. I'd be more mad if they just were like, we put him in the intro and everything, he's a main character, but shh, let's not talk about him. At least mention him. I feel like he should have had a route and then they just cut it. Do you get that feeling? I don't know why, but anyway. After that, we moved to the main street and began to explore together.
Oh, hey, that place has a long history as a famous cake shop. Even when I came to Orion's in the past, it was packed with people. You had to wait in such a long line to buy anything. The most popular cake on the menu is their Orion's tiramisu.
Orion's tiramisu. A dessert with alternating layers of espresso-soaked cookie and mascarpone cream. The kind served in cake shop Posh, a famous shop with a long history, retains the traditional cooking process, which cools it with help from water spirits. This tiramisu is both fluffy and smooth, armed with a bitterness that's just right. It's hard to get sick of it, and if you let your guard down, you might end up binging. I get overnight oats, oats overnight, so that that's usually what I'll make for lunch, because it's I could make regular oatmeal, which I love, don't get me wrong, but I can't put all the fun flavors and stuff because of all the shit you'd have to buy to do that. But they have a tiramisu one and it's so fucking good. I'm not gonna lie, when you open it up, it smells like a fancy fucking coffee shop. It smells so goddamn good. Tastes delicious too, but it smells so goddamn good. Oh, that one and Snickerdoodle, and then the peppermint mocha. Peppermint mocha's a little more chocolatey than I want it more pepperminty, but, obviously. I'm not a huge chocolate person, but the tiramisu and the Snickerdoodle are my fucking favorites. The Snickerdoodle one is so fucking good. Anyway. Orion's tiramisu? I've heard of that before. A customer at Lieber mentioned it once. I said I'd try it if I ever got the chance.
Then let's not waste any time. Learning about the specialties of a city is a good experience.
Oh my god, we're gonna have this romantic moment. We managed to buy the tiramisu before heading back to camp. Once we took a bite, okay, all I'm thinking I thought of last night was we have to, now that we're in Orion's, have to have the scene where we're in the underground park with Rady and it's all embarrassing because people think we're a couple. Because we've done that in every other route. So, it's so good. We were savoring every last morsel of the famous treat.
You're on top of the world. Look at you.
I just can't get over how delicious it is. It would be a waste to scarf it down, so I was slowly relishing every single bite. I was in bliss, beaming like every bite was a piece of paradise. And I owe it all to you, Rady. Thank you for pointing out that shop.
You are very welcome.
Hopefully you can't hear my frickin' washing machine. It sounds so fucking loud because I'm literally 6 feet from it, but...
Hey, you got some on your face.
Huh? Before I can ask where, Rady reached his hand toward me and... Oh my god, do we get a CG of this? Yes, we do. God, look at his hands. Why did they draw his hands so... Oh my god, why is he so hot in all of his CGs? Why? Why are his CGs the most gorgeous fucking things? Holy shit. How dare you try to steal my heart from my clown bitch? But I can't handle his CGs. They are so goddamn good. Guys, it hurts. I mean, this is why this is why this is the most man-harem-y game, because I'm keeping all of these motherfuckers, but like, Rady, you have no right to have CGs that are this goddamn good. Like, holy shit. It hurts because I feel like I'm cheating on my clown boyfriend a little. Like, why are I'm not wrong, right? His CGs are so freaking gorgeous. I can't process this right now. His fingertips gently wiped the corner of my lips. I mean, and look at the way he's looking at us and just oh my god, stop it.
Seriously, no matter how old you get, you're always so clumsy.
He didn't seem to mind it at all, still smiling and speaking in his usual tone. But really, because he's looking at you with those damn bedroom eyes. I was at a loss for words. I could feel my cheeks gradually heating up. I think my heart skipped a beat just now. Mine stopped completely. Though I could argue I'd been taken by surprise, I was more embarrassed how conscious I'd been of Rady. I can't help it. The usual Rady is cute, but the current Rady is so handsome. I really do like how right away she's like, my god, you're hot, wait a minute. And then she's just like completely smitten. And I love it. I do. He seemed like a man at a much more fitting age for romance than I was. Hey, Rady, do you really not have anyone that you're curious about in that way? He's like, what way? Girl, he can't read your mind. If he can, that'd be bad. He let out an exasperated sigh before having a bite of his tiramisu.
Oh, this again. I didn't I mention that I had my hands full babysitting you?
Then tell me about your type. Surely you have an idea about who you'd like. I like how we're bringing this up and he's gonna be like, and we're like, everything I'm not. Girl, don't ask these questions. My eyes were trained on Rady as I continued to press him. Also, unless, like, I mean, this is like a normal conversation, depending on your level of friendship with people. Like, okay, so what are you looking for? Like, oh, okay, whatever. Like, you're gonna help that person. But in this case, her asking is like, so, like, what kind of girls, like, as we flip our hair, are you, like, interested in, you know? Like, I'm just curious, you know, like, because, you know, to see if it fits me. You know, like, this is not the time to ask this conversation. This is not the time for this conversation. Oh, it's awkward. I know it's like she's pawning up, but you know inside she's like, is it me? Do you like me? She might not fully realize it yet, but that's what she's hoping inside, so.
My type, Oh well, if I had to pick.
Rady mulled it over for a bit. Finally, he nodded slightly as if an idea had come to him.
At the very least, I don't want to be like that couple earlier with the flashy breakup. A super amorous partner who likes to cling to me at all occasions would tire me out.
Interesting. A super clingy partner would tire you out. You know, says the man that we have to stop from drinking all the cooking wine. I just, really? That's true. There's not enough room for 2 handfuls in this relationship. Okay?
Simply eating good food together, enjoying fun things together. I prefer that kind of relationship.
Which is what we have. It's perfect. Hearing Rady's answer, I replied, that's what we're doing. Me too, I think. This is a good one. Like, yeah, I could agree with that. Yeah, I get behind that. But also, that's what we're doing right now. Is such the awkward answer, but it's also the in your face. Like, that's what we're doing. So, like, what about me? And that's, like, such an upfront, ballsy, and embarrassing answer. And I kind of hope this is it. Fuck yeah, it is. Isn't that what we're doing right now? Exploring the city together, then eating tiramisu as a pair. Rady's ideal kind of romantic relationship seemed to involve just what we'd done today. Let that sink in what you just said to yourself, girl.
Huh. Well. I'm floored, Spacey.
Huh? Oh! Hold up! I didn't mean it in a weird way! Yeah, but you said it, and it came out weird, and I love it!
Oh, what did you mean, then?
Look at his face! He's like, eh? So funny. Brady stared at me as I panicked and narrowed his eyes meaningfully. I repeat, I wasn't at all implying I was his type. But the thought of saying that out loud made me want to dig a hole and bury myself in it. While I fumbled for the right words, Rady spoke with a nonchalant look on his face.
You know, you have convinced me. As long as you're with me, Spacey, I'll never need a lover. After all, I already do everything with you that I'd hope to do with a partner.
I don't think so, but also... Look, Rady's ace! There you go! I do everything with you I do with a lover. I mean, I think there's a line we haven't quite crossed yet, unless you're absolutely 100% asexual and you're like, please don't kiss me or do any kind of romantic stuff. Then yeah, actually, we're perfect, but... Stop it already, Rady! Meanie, don't tease me!
Okay, I'll stop.
I raised my voice without meaning to, and Rady replied with a laugh. It is so funny, though, in my brain, because I keep, like, staring at the screen, but then I'm seeing Fluffball, and it's like the maths, but it also does not math. You know what I mean? Like, jeez. Wanting to regain my presence of mind, I put my hand over my chest and took deep breaths.
Well, at any rate, I'm really not interested at the moment, so relax.
I see. We're the same, then. I think that doing simple things like this with you is already more fun than chasing love. This is... our heart is already skipping beats when he looks at us and shit. So, like, we're already falling in love with him, but I kind of like that we're like, yeah, no, just hanging out and being bros. This is awesome, and then the next thing you know, you're kissing your homies goodnight. Doesn't have to be gay. Just saying. This little unremarkable moment brought me joy, and I felt a little smile tug at my lips.
Oh, really?
The corners of Rady's lips lifted too, for some reason. Yeah, and then he's giving us those bedroom eyes. Like, are you kind of curious? For us, we already know she's got these little pangs. Like, oh, why did that? But like, she's getting these little pangs right off the bat, which is kind of cute. You know, but we're also just smitten with how handsome he is, and we can't get over it. So, obviously, for an Otome game, she's smitten and fallen in love with him. We're falling in love with him gradually, but in any other reality, it could be like, oh my god, I'm a little smitten with how handsome he is, but like, it's not going to turn into anything. It's a little disjointing. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, handsome man that I thought was just a cute fluff ball. Huh, okay. Ooh, you know, gonna get your heart aflutter because he's super handsome and stuff, but it's not gonna go anywhere past that. It's just the, like, you know, like now if you see like somebody like, my god, that man is hot. You're like, oh, my heart skipped a beat. Okay, anyway, moving on, and then you just forget about it. You know what I mean? We just keep getting reminded that he's super hot, and we've known him all our life. But it'll pass eventually, in like any other circumstance. Obviously, in this one, no, that's gonna build up and you're falling in love with him. You know? But I wonder when it's gonna start for him, or if it already has, if he's kind of already had those feelings and he just pulls up like, oh god, I'm too busy chasing after you and whatever. And it's like, because you're never gonna fall in love with me. You know what I mean? Does he already pine a little for us? Or a lot? Does he have no fucking clue and the pining's gonna come later? Or do we pine first? Where is he on the pining stage is what I want to know. You know what I mean? We'll get it eventually when we flip to his perspective, so. He set down his spoon and spoke casually as if he were discussing the weather.
Actually, what we're doing right now is quite like a date. And it even looks like one when I'm not looking like a furball.
What? Seeing my jaw drop, Rady grinned like a mischievous cat and stood up. I think he likes messing with us, but...
Let's go into the city again. We got time, and I'm feeling pretty satisfied after teasing you.
You're awful, Rady! Fuming, I stood up and protested before chasing him, but he just laughed. But we went with him, do you see? How dare you tease me! You're such a jerk! As we follow him. It's not a date. It's not, okay? I always go on excursions with Rady. It's perfectly normal. Huh. Why am I suddenly so aware of him? It's all his fault for saying weird things. I love how she's like pining and smitten and very confused about her attraction to him. I love it. I love it so much. Evening fell. There's adorable little Vilio. And I think I kind of like it too because like everybody else, like you're getting to know. So like when you're starting to fall from, you're like, oh, because they're like a new person. You know what I mean? But like with Rady, you've known him your whole life, but at the same time, he's also a new person because you've never seen him not in his fluffball form. So, oh, is this when we were like giving out tickets to pay? Oh, I looked around there. I saw. I'm assuming we choose Rady because last time, yeah, Rady. Out of instinct, I yelled his name.
Over here, Spacey.
I heard the sound of my name from somewhere, and as I looked around for the source, a hand gripped my arm and pulled me to safety. Rady!
For a moment there, I thought I was going to suffocate in all those people.
Rady seemed to have transformed in the spur of the moment to escape the crowd. I'm so glad they didn't trample and crush him. Are you okay?
Yeah, somehow. Are you?
Yeah, because you saved me. This is a little scary.
The whole narcissism thing's very on display right now. Zephora's handing out the numbered tickets we made earlier, so I think they'll settle down in a bit. Apparently, they have to line up according to their ticket number for a chance to pet me.
It's just really... I don't know why it's awkward, but it also makes me want to giggle when we're looking at Rady in this form and he's talking about people petting him. And you're like... And there's just something so wildly inappropriate, you're like, I want to pet you. What? Wait, huh? Like... But you know there's probably times when you haven't been able to sleep or whatever that, like your cat or dog or chinchilla fox dog, whatever the fuck, like, when you're sleeping, he's curled up and you're just sleeping and petting, like, does he sleep with you sometime? And now you're like, wait. But inside you were this hot guy the whole time. I love it, guys. I love this game so fucking much. God, I love this game. Litter was disappearing rapidly, so I suppose Zephora's operation could be called a success. But so many people are going to pet Rady back to back. Well, it gave me mixed feelings. Anyway, how surprising. Zephora should have told us about his plan earlier. Like, mixed feelings about all these people touching him. And she sees, like, a pretty girl touch Rady, and she's like, don't you touch my chinchilla dog thing. Don't you touch my Rady.
If you had known beforehand, would you have signed off on it without a fuss? I mean, look at you now. You're upset enough that other people get to pet me, aren't you?
He gave me a meaningful grin as he pointed that out, as if he'd seen right through me. It's like, yeah, you're my pet. Like, I mean, imagine, like, people come over and pet your dog or your cat, and you're like, fine, whatever. But then your cat or dog turns into a hot guy that you're kind of oddly attracted to, and then when it's in its cat or dog form, people come over and pet it, and you're like, fucking touch my hot guy. Like, you know what I mean? And the awkwardness in that is not people petting your hot dude in his animal form. It's the fact that your pet just turned into a hot guy and you're attracted to it. And that's fucking bizarre. Listen. You know, Andy teases you about it because he's clearly like, hey, you don't want other people to pet me, do you? And you're like, you know, you're making it dirty. And it's absolutely valid because I'm also making it dirty in my head. Upset at all. I'm a little conflicted about our running a scam, but it's not like the superstitions here, but it's not unlike the superstitions here. So
I can read you like a book. After it's over, I'm counting on you to brush my fur. Nobody can beat your 10 years of experience and technique.
And then the fact that then he's going to sit in our lap and then we're going to be brushing his fur and thinking like, okay, here's my little fluffy ant, but hot guy underneath it. It should be more awkward than it is. I'm like, it's awkward. Is it though? Because I'm totally into it, and this is a problem. But at the same time, why am I surprised? Because games have been like, did you want to bang your brother? And I'm like, fuck yeah, let's do this. And I didn't have a problem with it. So like, I don't really think there's much that atone. Okay, no, we have one instance in our other game that we're playing where it's like, no, you better be lying about your age, sir. That's it. Huge age gaps or like super young love it. No. no, I draw those lines. But like, I mean, that's just a personal thing. But like, as far as debauchery goes, like, that's really funny. I'm playing an 18-year-old character, and there's a 40-year-old man. That's gross! Hey, but there's my half-brother. Let's fuck. I mean, I never said the logic makes sense, guys. Oh God. You just gotta be able to go, you know what? All the things in real life that you'd be like, gross. Fuck no. Hell no. Never get near that. You like in Otome games, like you would never date half of the problematic love interests that we have. You're like, he stabbed me. Whatever. No. Even threatening to stab me is a big fucking no. But like in Otome games, you're like, stab me harder, daddy. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. So like, I don't know if this is very healthy for me to play these games. I don't know. They're certainly making me a little more fucked up, but whatever.
Alrighty, they seem to have settled down, so let's get back to Zephora.
Saying that, Rady gave me a light pat on the head before promptly transforming, and then then you see this, and there's no trace aside from the color, the green eyes, and a little gem on his forehead, and that's it. And it's like, you just have dyed your dog's fur the same color as your hair, you know?
Time to get a move on.
He swished his fluffy tail left and right as he headed to the front of the crowd, now in orderly lines. I stared at him, conflicted. Yeah, he's swishing his fluffy tail. He's like he's peacocking for you right now. Furball form. Usually the others and I are the ones who pet him, but just now, the feeling of his large hand on my head was still vivid in my mind. As I recalled that, I chased after Rady to fulfill my duty as the garbage collector. I have to let people pet him. They collected all the garbage. Let them have their prize. Okay. We better have our date moment. Now we're gonna do the show. Did we not get our date moment? Like everybody else? Did we actually get one with Zephora, or was that technically our date we didn't get... Like, we got one with Ion and Pashalia, but I don't remember if we actually had the weird, like, people think we're dating with Zephora, because I think it was this trash cleanup thing. That makes me sad. I want the people think we're accidentally dating scene with everybody, but... That's alright. I was thinking of that as I was saying, oh, we get the accidental date, and I'm like, I don't remember getting that with Zephora. But it would make sense because we did the trash cleanup with Zephora, Rady, and Vilio, so... Ion and Pashalia, that was the area where we would have been off with them, having that, like, confusing date scenario, you know what I mean? Aw, bummer! But Rady kind of gave us that with this is like a date! Let's go hang out in town, and we're like, how dare you! As we leave with him. Good times, good times. Alright, now we're in chapter 4. Oh, right, Abby. This motherfucker. This motherfucker! I want to be like, he's probably the only side character I don't like, but I don't hate him. It's just he didn't have any kind of redeeming factors. At least with Balto, who is a shady bastard, you're like, well, he was possessed by fiends, so I mean, I guess you could give him a pass. Even though he's a horrible person. I'd give him a pass for that. Abby just chose to be a bad person. You know? Anyway, I'm assuming we go with Rady. Map? Oh, map. Yeah, map! House tent, Rady. Yes. The next day...
Hey, Spacey!
That came out so painful. As I was heading out toward the city, just after I'd gotten ready and left my tent, I heard my name and turned around.
You're heading out soon, right? Let's go to Cheers, then.
Hearing Rady's invitation, I tilted my head. To Cheers? Sure, but why?
The peeps of Ferris are a warlike bunch. They have a hard time talking to him, right? But meanwhile, the mood over at Cheers is the same no matter what city you're in. If Leon's around like yesterday, it'll make our investigation here easier.
Huh, good point.
Right? The big dudes are everywhere, but I'll make 'em cower with just one glare. Rest easy.
It'd be so funny if he's in that form trying to do it, glaring at them, and it's like, it doesn't fly because everyone's like, look at your cute little foxy thing, whatever the hell it is. And then Rady turns into sexy Rady, and you're like, now he might be able to glare at people. I'm happy you're willing to go so far, but I think you'd only look cute doing that, Rady. Like, right now, like he's trying to glare, and you're like, no. I couldn't stop myself from smiling. He stared up at me and smirked impishly.
Oh, come on. You expect me to go there like this?
Oh. Rady, who walked right next to me, looked like any other human again. There is something seriously, like, even though we know he's hot guy, right? And we've seen it a million times, every single time we're talking to Rady, and then all of a sudden we're here standing next to Rady hot guy, my brain is like, our little fluffball friend is now this hot guy next to us, and it's... What the hell? Like I know, like, we know, but, like, I still, like, I don't know what it is. I don't know is it me? Like, or does it feel the same for you when now every time Rady shows up in hot guy form, you're like, I know that this is you, but also it's slightly like, oh. Oh, right. I don't know, but I feel like I want to give the game credit for that. To be like, yeah, every time it's like, I know this is your other form. It's not a surprise, and yet it's still mildly surprising every time. It's like, right, hot guy. Yeah, like, it's very, like, slight, but it's enough there where you're like, right, yeah, okay. Like, just a little tingle of like, oh. Is it just me today? Maybe it's just me today. I don't know. Oh, good God. Like, I was really nervous at first, but I think I've adapted quite well to this form of his. Yeah, I've adapted quite well, except for every time he does it, you're like, oh, right. Like, I didn't forget, but you still get that little tinge, little, like, giddy. Or I'm drunk, and I didn't drink anything today. I mean, aside from, like, water and shit. I didn't have any alcohol today, but, like, I don't know. Business was booming as usual in Cheers, so things were very lively inside. Hello there, and welcome you two. Leon immediately noticed and greeted his new customers. Us!
Yo, Leon, do you have a moment? I'd like to ask you something.
I love how Leon is taller than Rady. I imagine Rady just being gigantically tall, and Leon is taller than him, and I like it. I like that there's height differences in this game. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I mean, there's probably other height differences in other games. I just don't know if I've noticed it so much. You know what I mean? Like, or if it's like they're roughly, but like I just feel like it's very noticeable in this game. Am I crazy? I mean, crazy in the I don't notice it in other games, but I notice it in this one. Anyway, sure. I happen to be free right now. Okay, a table for two right away. We sat down at the table Leon led us to, and Rady didn't waste any time. I feel like Leon's voice is different every time we see him, but I can't remember. I hate to say it's not important, because I do love him. Don't get me wrong. And Fandisk, he'll get his own real voice, but like while we're here, I just... Listen.
I want to ask you about recent news in Ferris. What's it like in your eyes?
Ferris, huh? Well, I do think that it's better now than in the past. I can't say it's a utopia, though. Did it used to be that bad? Yeah, the duels inside the arenas got pretty extreme in the past. For example, they'd catch Fae or half-Fae and force them to fight, make a spectacle out of them. Half-Fae, a child of Fae and human descent. It's very rare for the union of Fae and human to bear fruit in the form of a child, but it's not impossible. Oh, thank God! That means we're safe with Rady. We don't have to have kids, because it'll never happen. Very rare, but it's good enough for me. Listen, I don't want my Fandisk pushing babies onto me, okay? You can give me weddings. I'm into that, but don't do the whole, like, well, now we're gonna have babies. Don't talk about that. No, don't ruin my life like this. Okay? I'm here for the romance, not the kids. Besides, how fucking weird would that be as a child? You're going to school. Is that your dog? No, that's my dad. Like, Rady walking you to school. Or fucking Leon, actually, because he's actually like a wolf, so. Oh. Is that your cat? Shut up, it's my dad! I don't know what the hell Rady's supposed to be. He's like a little fox thing. He looks nothing like a chinchilla, but I like calling him a chinchilla fox, okay? Chinchillas are fluffy and adorable, so it's close enough. They're like bunny mice. Anyway. That was a common sight back then. That's horrible! They tend to be more powerful than humans, which makes us perfect for entertainment, I guess. Arena owners did it so brazenly, and spectators watched with glee. It's really disheartening.
Discrimination against Fae was much worse back then, after all. Though we were stronger than humans, different from humans, the beings that weren't normal.
I hate this, and Leon looks kind of sad right now, and so beautiful.
Anyone would be scared.
You're so right. In the past, people were especially intimidated by Fenrir's, too. Putting aside that form I'm in now, I'm far stronger in my beast form. Most of the stigma's gone in the present day, though.
Right. Thanks to Celius, they mastered the ability to transform, and such incidents declined over time.
They aren't normal. I couldn't help but fall into deep thought. To me, Rady's a part of my everyday life. Though Fae populations were small, I'd seen them in every city. They were an integral part of our lives. But there was an era where it wasn't normal for them to be with us. Let's bring the realism into this. We can see the parallels here.
Spacey, is something wrong?
No, it's nothing. More importantly, instinctively trying to change the topic, I scanned the pub interior and said, Cheers is prosperous even here in Ferris, huh? What? You're praising me. Yes, I hate to admit it, but I'm always impressed by your workmanship. You've made a wonderful pub with branches in many cities, and that's just the start.
Your menu's actually slightly tweaked based on the preferences of each city, for one. Every single branch is perfectly clean, and your customer service is great.
Exactly. It's only possible because you work hard to make them cozy, right? What's this all of a sudden? Is this a plan to inflate my ego until I self-destruct?
Don't be so humble, Leon.
Yeah, I really do think you're amazing. Be careful. He's gonna hit on us now. And then Rady's gonna have to get jealous. It makes me so embarrassed when you say it seriously like that. But thanks, you two. That reminds me. Do you remember, Spacey? You actually praised me 5 years ago as well. 5 years ago would be around the time I first came to Cheers? Yep. Everyone tends to think that managing this business takes the bare minimum. I took over Cheers for my old man, and someone said to me once, "You must have it so easy with such accomplished parents." Even though I actually felt great pressure, as Cheers was passed down from my ancestors. I think I heard from Spirio once that Cheers has been around for a long time. We started around 500 years ago, I think. That far back? It all began when Gramps came across one particular Fae. In their conversation, they discussed whether there was anything they could do for Fae that had a hard time getting along with humans. And that's why Cheers was born? Okay, here's the thing. 500 years ago was his grandfather. That just tells you how long they lived. Cheers, too, was established around 500 years ago by Leon's grandfather. It was founded with the goal of providing support to Fae that live in human cities. That's still true in the present day, and many troubled Fae visit to seek counsel. That's adorable. Exactly. At first it started off as a lone, small pub in the countryside, but during my old man's era, he thought it'd be better for us to be available in more cities, so we began expanding our business. Well, in the eyes of the Fae that frequent us, having Cheers in their lives is only natural nowadays. But one tiny girl realized the truth. She said, "You're amazing. You work so hard." That day, the love story between you and me bloomed with a beautiful melody. You know he was going to turn it into some way to hit on me. Nothing bloomed. Not even a chorus.
I praised you too. Don't make it sound as if you were alone with her.
You two are no fun. Leon's shoulders sagged as he sighed. Okay. Normally I'm not into the, like, characters that are basically dry humping your leg the whole time. It's like, okay, simmer down. They can be fun, don't get me wrong, but they're never my favorite. But I really do love him, and I really do want the fan disc. One, so I can date Ginia, but also, listen, as a side character, I'm here in the I need to romance this man angle. Like, I'm here for that. Whoops. Anyway, you two seemed super close back when he was only a furball. But now you're with Radiant human form, you give me more powerful couple vibes. You're perfect for each other. I don't know about that. We're not dating or anything. Yeah, that could never happen. You're overthinking it, Leon. Rady waved his hand flippantly as he replied in an exasperated voice. Like, that could never happen, whatever. And you're like, I think I've been shot. Someone call an ambulance. Oh, God, I'm dying. And inside, Rady's like, I hate having to say this, but it's because she's never going to think of it. You know, but... I'm just her guardian, nothing more. To be even more precise, I'm the stand-in. Guardian, huh? Leon repeated that word before honing in on me this time. You heard what he said. Is he right? It sounded like a probe, and we go way back, so it's the other way around. Like, we go way back, so like not answering the question, but it's the other way around. I'm his guardian. That is fucking funny. I kind of like this answer. I don't know which one's right, but no, it's we go way back. So damn it, I really wanted it to be. It's the other way around. Well, we go way back, so we're family. We've been together for a long time, so it's natural that we get each other. We were, after all, family. Not anything like a couple. Thus, this was normal. Only natural. Sounds like she's trying to convince herself. That was how it worked in my mind, but Leon didn't seem convinced. Really? Is that really all? Doesn't seem that way in my eyes, though. As he spoke, Leon leaned in to stare at me. I have a pretty sharp intuition about these things, you know? And yet, you seem to think I'm in love with you. I kinda am, not gonna lie. He stared as if trying to read my thoughts, making me look away on instinct. Ah, see, you're all red now. So you really do see him in the... Stop it already, Leon. Unless you want a beating. And you're too close. Buzz off. Spoil sport. It wasn't like that. I was only a little shaken by his teasing, that's all. I don't see Radiant that way. I really don't. Well, 10 years is a long time. No wonder. With a teasing tone in his voice, Leon grinned broadly. 10 years. Yeah, it's been a busy 10 years. A lot of anger, a lot of laughter. Ever since I started traveling, this has been my first time staying in one place so long. Rady was with me right now, but I had a sudden realization. It doesn't mean Rady will continue to stay by my side forever. What if he decided to start traveling again? What if he ended up with a lover one day? I don't think I like that idea. I wanted Rady to stay with me forever. I didn't want him to leave. I knew this was a selfish thought, but... Spacey, we should get going. We learned more about the city already. Let's not overstay our welcome. Right. See ya, Leon. I'll make sure to order some food next time, if I still remember by then. Okay, that'd make me even happier. Come again! With Leon's voice behind us, we left cheers. It was his life. Rady should be able to make his own decisions about his future. Here's the thing. This is the man harem. Nobody's allowed to have a lover. Aside from me. The men come into my man harem, and this is my man harem. Look, I mean, like, listen, if they want to, there's some gay shit going on, I'm okay with that, that's fine. But they're not bringing other ladies in here, okay? I don't share like that. Look, if you want to like hold hands and go on romantic dates with each other in the man harem, that's okay. But like, I can't handle the other woman competition. I gotta be the only woman in this man harem, okay? That's why it's my man harem. But like, nobody in circus here, or and Leon on the side over there. Nobody, and Ginny is included because he's part of circus, okay? Like, but nobody's getting a lover except for me. Like, this is my circus. These are my monkeys. This is my shit. Like, nobody, this is how it works. So I feel her, but it's okay. No one else is just never going to happen with anybody. Listen, I'm selfish and greedy, okay? That was what I told myself, but I just couldn't shake the feelings. The dark unease in my chest was like a blight that wouldn't go away. Spacey, you alright? My pace must have slowed down at some point from being distracted by my rampant thoughts. You must be tired. You should have told me. No, I'm not tired. I made a small objection, but Rady didn't seem to be sold as he smiled wryly. Seriously, here. Rady spoke in a low, warm voice, and then... Is he going to pick me up? Do we get another CG? He's holding my hand! We're practically married! He gently took my hand in his. Hand was much bigger than my own. The gesture wasn't anything significant, but my breath seized up. Show me how gorgeous he looked. Jesus Christ! How? How are you so fucking hot in every fucking CG? Every one of them! How is this happening? Jeez, what am I supposed to do with you? Don't be so stubborn. You don't ever have to hold yourself back when you're with me. Relax and lean on me whenever you want to. I mean, I want to lean on you, God. Like, actually physically, not just emotionally. My eyes were fixed on Rady's back as he led me forward by the hand. My heart was about to burst. Hey, Rady... Do you plan to go traveling again one day? One sentence seemed to be enough for Rady to see right through my anxiety. Don't worry, Spacey. I'll always be there for you until you grow into a respectable, independent adult. Now that's the duty of a guardian, right? Yeah. Rady's gentle words soothed me, but the pain in my chest wouldn't go away. Does that mean that when I'm an adult, Rady might be missing from my life? You think about it like in all the other routes, like you found someone to share your life with and everything like that, and then he's like, yeah, I'm always going to be there. But it's like your parents, you don't live with them anymore. You move out, but they're still there for you type of a thing. And like, you know what I mean? But we didn't have any doubts then because we weren't in love with Rady. That's the thing. And it's like, no, I love it. Fears were welling up like black seawater, threatening to drown me, but I couldn't voice them. Rady's always been with me. I assumed it would last forever and took it for granted. Maybe it won't last after all. That's the thing, though. I mean, that's because before you never even considered it. And then, because you weren't in love with Rady, so you didn't have that fear of that person leaving you. You know what I mean? And then you fall in love with someone else, and you're still not thinking about that because now you've got this happy thing, and you're like, oh yeah, it's just natural that like we won't always be together 24/7, but like Rady's still going to be in my life, like Spiria is, and like all of our friends and stuff are. Even if you have that like moment of like, oh, but all of our friends are going to go away and that's kind of sad. We're going to miss them, but you know, but like it's the, even if you, well, I mean, she's obviously in love with Rady right now and just hasn't realized it, but you're not in love with anyone else, so you haven't gotten to that, oh, well, I've got this person in my life, and it's okay if Rady moves on with his life. It's the, I'm going to be right here, not changing, except for getting older, and then Rady's going to peace out. That's where it gets scary. You're like, no, don't do that. There's that fear, but it's also because she's in love with him. Ugh. Wanting to dispel my unease, I tightened my hold on his hand just a little. Feeling the warmth of his hand in mine, I walked on. At night, several days later, With our investigation mostly finished, we all returned to camp. We went over our findings at dinner while discussing our upcoming show. Oh, we've already done all this, so I guess I was like, wait, have we done this? Yeah. Okay. Never mind, so now we're skipping. Oh! We're ion revealed. Also, a hot CG. Are all of them just super sexy and all of them? Obviously, we're going with children because that's the Rady answer. Yes. Okay. You mentioned you had a good idea. So what's the plan? After we decided on our different targets, we all split up. I trailed after Rady as he led me to an unknown destination.
Remember our first show here? Our turnout wasn't completely zero. Well, I saw some kids from the audience around this area, so I'm trying my luck.
Rady scanned our surroundings as he explained his reasoning when...
Aha! Jackpot!
You're the little Pinky from before.
A small girl trotted over and looked up at us. I do wish he was a little more pink and a little less reddish. You know what I mean? Just so it'd be cuter that he's, like, supposed to be pink. You know?
Ew, it's been a while.
I retraced my memory to a few days ago. She was indeed in our previous audience. Thanks for coming to watch our show the other day.
It was super fun. I don't really like seeing paint, so I don't go to the arenas, but little Pinky and Pals were so sparkly, pretty, and warm. I told my friends all about it lots. And everyone said they want to see it too.
Really? Well, I'm very happy to hear that.
Hey, when will you do it again?
Well, we're still in the middle of practice, but it'll be soon. Our tent's gonna be right there in the big space at the center. So bring 100 or more friends along when we perform next, okay?
Okay, count on me.
With a radiant smile, the girl made a pinky promise with Rady, then... It's time to get going!
Okay!
Hearing her mother's voice, the girl sprinted away. After seeing her off, we shared a look.
See, and there sure are people who are looking forward to our show.
Yeah, you're right. We need to do our best.
All right. There seems to be a bunch of kids her age around this place. I know it's going to be slow, but let's talk to them one by one.
Crafting a show for the taste of the majority was important. That much was true. However, though they were few, there were some people who definitely like our show, who'd said they couldn't wait. We needed to put in our best effort for their sakes. Firing myself up, we continued spreading word of our show. Time flew by and it's time for the show. Bum, 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 bum. Here we go. Ion fighting a dragon. But no, now they're friends. I do like how Rady has a little costume and a little bow tie. Oh, now we're all having fun afterward. Having our conversations. I got nothing else to say, man. Oh. Did we at this point and the other ones have like little like in-betweens and stuck in their perspectives, or did that only really happen when you got into their routes? I'm guessing it only really happened when you got into their routes. Because this is still technically the common route. We just spend time with a different character, you know. As opposed to, you know, with the character you're trying to date, so. Do-do-do! Chapter 5. The last one, I think, before... I think chapter 6 starts the... Yeah, because it's after you do the show here in Arthair, so... Sorry, but our lunch hours have just ended. I'm home, Oh, that was Spiria saying that. Sorry, our lunch hours have just ended. I'm home, Spiria! With a start, Spiria whipped her head around. When she saw me, a smile with myriad emotions overtook her face. Welcome home, Spacey, and... Spiria's gaze slowly slid to the group behind me. I'm here to stay the night. Where's my room? The rooms are ready for you on the second floor. The same rooms as last time. Make yourselves at home. I'll prepare an extravagant feast tonight. Thanks, Spiria. I'm looking forward to it. Spacey, we shall go ahead and settle in our rooms. Are you... I had cut his words short and glanced at Rady and I. We have some talking to do first, so... You guys go rest up. I'll call you when dinner's ready. Understood. After that, they ascended the stairs. I turned to face Spiria and looked into her eyes. Spiria, you knew, right? You knew that Rady can transform. As I spoke, I snuck a glance at him standing behind me. Yeah, sorry for hiding it from you. When I heard that he's been able to transform for 3 years, I was really surprised, you know? He mentioned that he'd kept me in the dark for my sake, but... So he's only been able to transform for the last 3 years. I felt left out, and that made me sad. I know, I'm sorry. You were still so little back then, and well... We would have been, what, 13? Yeah. In short, information unlocked. But it's not like anything's changed, really. Well, except for the fact that you're hot and I'm kind of in love with you. That's changed. But first things first, tell me what happened during your travels. I'll go make some tea, so have a seat and wait a moment. So then I thought, oh, we're done for. But that was when Rady had a stroke of genius. He solved everything perfectly. Hey, Spacey, you're praising me like crazy today. Well, what's the occasion? Huh? Did I say something wrong? It didn't seem like flattery. I was just speaking my mind. If you're just speaking your mind, then... Well, you're still giving me way too much credit. You think so? Watching our interaction, Spiria sounded emotional as she spoke. You sent me letters through Wooloo Post, so I knew that you were fair and well, but... I'm so glad you came back safe and sound. I made the right choice when I took the leap and encouraged you to go. Especially considering how you seem to have matured so much. Does it look that way to you? Definitely. You're completely different. I see. Thank you, Spiria. I couldn't sense the change myself, but if Spiria says so, I really must have. And of course, I was giddy and a little shy. And that's why... Hey, Rady, don't you think it's about time you tell her the truth? Truth? Rady's known us our whole life. Our whole life. Our whole life. Our whole life. I was going to say lives and then life, and it was laughs. No. Rady was firm and solemn with his rejection. I'm sure Spacey can handle it now. Or do you plan on hiding it from her forever? For some reason, Rady cast his eyes down with a closed expression and fell silent. Is there something else you're hiding from me? Not just your transformation? What is it, Rady? Indecision clouded his face, and for a while he struggled with his words. Spiria, sorry, but give us some space. Sure thing. Don't you think it's time you told her the truth? Nope. Well, you have to tell me now, because now I know there's something you're hiding from me. You should have had this conversation in private. Rady waited until Spiria disappeared into the back of the store. Then he slowly opened his mouth. What am I to you? Huh? I blinked at the abrupt question. After your parents passed away, I appeared out of thin air and started living with you like family. And that's what you believe, right? Yeah? Rady wouldn't meet my eyes. Perhaps because he was broaching a difficult topic or something he didn't want to talk about. How much before then I used to be with you. Huh? Wait, what are you... After my parental figure went away, I traveled alone for the longest time. I visited the major 5, of course, but also rural areas so obscure they had no name. I even wandered around Fae settlements. And then, precisely 10 years ago in Kalita, I was under the care of a certain family for a while. And back then I always took on my human form, just like Leon does in the present. Kalita, 10 years ago. Well, this is the thing. He's like, I was with you before, but 10 years ago is when we thought he was with us. So I figured he was with us longer than that. This is... All right. Couldn't believe it. But Rady's words were all pointing to one answer. You used to live with us? I didn't have any memories of that. However, my gut told me that with one more detail I'd be able to recall something.
A while after I started living with you and your parents, Rigel and Maria, you were still young, and those two were hesitating about whether or not they should go on a long expedition for their research. I encouraged them. I said, I'll be looking after her, so go ahead. I'm freeloading, so I ought to do this much at least.
And then they went and he blames himself, and that's why he couldn't change out of his Fae form for like so many years. But Rady continued his explanation in a neutral tone. He suddenly cast down his eyes, looking pained. He blames himself.
Then, even after the day they were supposed to come back, and they didn't. Around the time you started making a fuss about how you were going to go look for them, Rigel came back bringing a comatose Mirio with him. And that guy desperately clawed his way back, determined to come home at all costs. But he exhausted the last of his strength doing so, and when you saw your parents lying on the floor, you said to me, do something. I didn't have any clue about what happened to them either. Still, I tried to save them. But in the end, it amounted to nothing.
I couldn't react. Rady gazed at me and then scratched his cheek, looking ashamed. Oh, it's not his fault.
Tell you the truth, I overextended my powers back then and I couldn't take on my human form anymore as a consequence.
Oh.
So, the thing I said about how I only managed to transform 3 years ago was a half-lie. It'd be more accurate to say that was when I'd recovered enough power to transform again. But I was scared that you seeing me in this form might make you recall your memories. And because of that, even though I was able to transform, I didn't want to tell you. At all. I mean, why would you ever want to replay that memory in your head? You fainted from distress over your parents who wouldn't wake up. You suffered so much. You were practically drowning in misery. I know the extent of your torment better than you do. I'm sure of it. After all, I've been right by your side watching over you since that day.
I fixed my eyes on the man before me, even before that. But not so long before that, you know what I mean? I kind of figured our whole life he'd been there, but it was like he came, he hung out, yeah, he was living with our family, he was like, no, go on that vacation, and then it was like, so I mean, it was still around the time, but just a little bit earlier than we thought. He'd been my companion for the longest time. Rady... No, it's not right. I knew this man that had accompanied me. That wasn't him. He wasn't Rady. What is your name? Rady has another name? Name is Relita? He has I didn't expect that! I mean, I knew he was like Fluffball that turns into like Hot Guy. That we knew. And like, anyway, Relita? I'm guessing that's what it would be.
My real name is Relita.
I guess. I'm guessing that's how you pronounce it, because like, it could be Relita, but Relita? I don't know. Anyway, Rady's real name. Anyway, he hides this and the time he spent with our heroine before her parents' death so she won't remember the tragic event. The moment I heard it, a memory I'd lost popped back into place. Yeah, the CG that we saw part of. Aww. That's so... This makes it so wrong. This is wrong. He's still gorgeous in this, but look at us. Tiny little baby, and it's like he's still his hot self, and this makes it... This is where the inappropriate is, but I don't even care.
Relita, tell me another story.
Another one. Jeez. What am I ever gonna do with you?
Long ago, when I'd visited Lieber with my parents, I chanced upon him. I didn't remember myself as a child that was especially outgoing, but it only took me an instant to like him a lot. He'd spoiled me rotten, letting me sit on his lap or carrying me in his arms. We were already in love with him when we were like 6. He'd been a traveler, and he'd tell me about events from his journey in a comical way. The stories he told me were more engaging than any picture book I'd read. Didn't know why, but they moved me more than the ones my friends or even my parents told me. I was enthralled, and when I whined that I wanted to listen to more,
In that case,
Oh, that's our father. In that case, how about you stay at our place for a while? Right, that's perfect. Knowing you, we can rest assured that Spacey will be in good hands. My parents had made the offer. And then, so we basically picked up a roaming hobo. It's Rady, it's fine. But we were like, well, man, we want to hear stories. So we're like, why don't you come live with us? You got no place else to go. Come on. Like, I mean, there's something kind of wrong about this, but he'd taken care of me for as long as I could remember. He'd play all my games with me. That memory which surfaced in Cultura.
careful. If you don't pay attention, you'll step in a puddle. Mary is going to be mad if you get all muddy.
It was from the time I'd lived with him in Kalita. We kind of already knew that. My parents were avid researchers, so they were often out of the house, but Relita filled all the gaps in my heart. But him having a second name, I didn't expect that. Then, that fateful day came. My parents had come back battered and torn. He'd spent everything he had to save them, but their eyes never opened again. I was in shock. I wanted to deny that reality so bad that I have forgotten. Starting from when my parents had died 10 years ago, all the way to this very second, he's always been by my side. Could I? Did you really keep everything from me so I wouldn't remember? Is that why you went by Rady?
Yeah, but 10 years ago you lost your memories and even became like a doll. And that's why I didn't want you to shoulder any unnecessary burdens. If you had forgotten, that was fine. And maybe it was something better left forgotten if the alternative was you suffering. And that's what I thought. Keeping a smile on your face was much, much more important to me.
So you've always thought about what's best for me, and you did all that.
I didn't manage to save your parents in the end. I thought I'd at least make up for it, up for that by being their stand-in.
My breath hitched.
Spacey,
Rady leaned in to peer at my face with his eyebrows furrowed, looking worried. Sorry, Rady. I stood up stiffly from my chair. I'm going outside for some air. I want to cool my head a little, so... Rady was about to say something. Oh. But I sprinted out of Lieber almost as if I were running away from his next line. And we technically should have ended there because, like, we're basically at the end. That was like a good place that transition, but like the running away, like, oh, like we're like upset, but I don't think we're like mad at him or anything. I think we're more upset and like, oh my god, like all these things that I'm remembering now, and he was always there, and I forgot, and like, you know, oh, I didn't expect Rady to have another name. Did not see that one coming. Okay, anyway, but I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.